Okay, now I want to talk about the criminal justice system and organized stalking. The criminal justice system is not set up to prosecute people for crimes they did not commit, especially knowingly prosecute somebody for a crime they did not commit. It takes a lot of effort to bring somebody into a courtroom and to switch facts around and to use color of law and have false witnesses and actually go through with it and feel confident going through with it. That's not a simple matter, you know. And there's people all over the country in the United States of America and in many other governments around the world who are prosecuted based on testimony. For instance, there are people on death row who will never see the light of day. They will die behind bars. Why? Testimony. No evidence. There's people out there in prison for 20 years on rape cases that did not do it. There was no evidence. It was based on testimony. There's people in prison for robbery based on testimony. Somebody will say, I saw this individual at this location at this time, or this was the man who assaulted me, or this was the woman who assaulted me or tried to do some harm to me. And there's police officers who are more than willing to go along with that. You know, how many times do you hear about a husband going to jail because his wife just said, hey, he hit me? He might not have really done it. He might have had a couple drinks at the bar, came home, got into an argument with his wife, didn't even touch her. And she calls the police and says, this man assaulted me, he put his hands on me. So that's what happened to me. I was prosecuted on testimony. It wasn't about me on YouTube. It wasn't about me sending flowers. A woman went into a courtroom and gave her testimony and said that I tried to pull her out of a vehicle. There was no date. There was no time. She didn't even call the police or make a report when it allegedly happened. If I was a woman and a 6'5" man tried to pull me out of a car, I would at least call the police. According to the woman that gave testimony, she never even saw my YouTube videos. When I was talking about what was going on in the neighborhood with the community watch group and how I was being followed around every day. So my whole court trial was based on testimony. This person tried to do something to me. That can happen to anybody. There's people out there right now fighting murder cases and they did not do it. Somebody else is saying that they did it. Blaming the individual, saying this individual committed this crime. We saw him break into the car. Okay, did he have burglary tools on him? No, he didn't have any burglary tools on him. Well, how in the hell is he gonna steal the car? There's people who get picked up by the police and somebody will say that person was acting suspicious. They were around a motor vehicle at this certain time. And we think the individual was trying to vandalize the vehicle, or we think the individual was breaking in the vehicle. If they vandalize the vehicle, how? Did the individual have burglary tools? Did they have something to go on to inflict some sort of damage to the vehicle? Did they have a Slim Jim? Could they access the vehicle? See, and there's police officers out there who know people don't know their rights. They won't even put it in the paperwork that there was no burglary. They'll just say, well, he was by the vehicle, and that's the individual they said they saw doing it. The guy could be way down the street somewhere. They drive down the street, pick him up, say, look, we had a phone call. A guy named John said, you know, you were outside his car. You know, and then the asked guy say, well, did John say how tall I was? Well, he didn't say how tall you were. He didn't give a description of height or hairstyle or color of clothing or anything. John just said, well, how do he said, how do you know John was talking about me? See, there's police officers out there, they can bend the laws and use color of law and get somebody in jail just on mere testimony. Happens every day. And that's exactly what happened to me. That's exactly what happened to me. And so, I don't understand. Well, I don't like to use the word understand. I don't overstand. I don't overstand, because you say understand, that means you're underneath what you're talking about. I don't grasp. I don't understand. I don't grasp why these individuals, such as this man from England, all these people, are speaking on me and weren't even there when it occurred. Then my case with the timeline, according to Norton Shores Police, I tried to pull some woman out of a car in late 2015 or early 2016 before I said the flowers. Then I made YouTube videos. Then, according to the sensationalism in the newspaper with the Obsoletist, who uses the social media, he's saying he called Silent Observer and reported me from England. And how does he know what's going on in America? What does he have to do with me? And he, for trying to pull some woman out of a car, and the police came around my house, they didn't say nothing about, hey man, did you try to pull some woman out of the car in 2015, 2016? They came around my house talking about, you tried to pull some woman out of a car and all this, and somebody called a Silent Observer. Who is the person I tried to pull out of the car? See what I'm saying? The woman in the police report, I never even seen her before in my life. She's saying I tried to pull out of her car in late 2015. So right there, if you just stick to that right there, that timeline, and you go get the court transcripts and the police report, and you just look at it, obviously you can tell how it's set up. And that's just one aspect of it. That's just one factor. Like, there's numerous instances. And so, then Lynn Moore and Mlive put this dude in my newspaper article, and he just sits there all day talking about me crazy on the internet. So if I have a friend or I meet somebody and they Google my name, all they hear about is some dude from England calling me a nutcase who doesn't even know me about a case I got framed on. How does that make it make sense?